All right, well, welcome today to our session on using music technology in the classroom. And we're excited to have Dr. Zandra Bell McCrory with us, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hello. Like Dr. Holmes Davis said, I'm Dr. Zandra Bell McRoy. I'm the band director at Cedar Shoals High School, and I am part-time adjunct, I guess, faculty here at Georgia College and State University. And we'll be talking today about music technology in the classroom. Now, I'm going to preface this with I am in no way an expert on music technology. And I fell into this world of music tech during our virtual time and our asynchronous learning time at home, and trying to find ways to incorporate the standards into the work that we were doing. Since we couldn't do full band things, we had to focus a lot on um, individual playing skills, but we also focused a lot on creating. And that was a big part of the work we did. Luckily, my assistant band director was teaching music technology at the time, so we were able to really work um, hard together to find creative ways to incorporate technology into the classroom. And we've tried to keep those things going, um, but hold on, sorry, I had to send my husband a message. And but we are, going to dive into this today, but it's not, I'm just going to, let me be clear, I am not an expert. I am just someone that is really, really interested in this stuff. So here we go. This is just a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm the band director at Cedar Shoals High School in Athens, Georgia, right down the street from the University of Georgia. And I am a graduate. I'm a product of the University of Georgia. I got all my degrees from there. I'm a quad dog. I gave them a lot of my money and a whole bunch of my youth. And so when I say go dogs, I really, really, really mean it a lot. I am I'm still a performer. I still perform a lot. I'm a flutist and piccolo player with Tara Winds. It's an adult community band in Atlanta, and I'm also a freelance musician. And I'm currently in my third year of serving as virtual PLC lead for 6 through 12 band with the Georgia Department of Education. So that's just a little bit about me. And let's jump into the important stuff. So this is just kind of what we're going to outline today, what we're going to go over today. And by no means is this static. If you want to ask questions and, in the middle of things, please feel free to jump in as you need. But these are the topics that we will cover. We'll look at music technology in different ways. Tech as a source of music making, so actually using it to create is the biggest part of the whole music technology, you know, purpose right now, right? We want to use it to help us reach more students, to help us find new ways to reach the ones we have. And yeah, so tech as a source of music making, tech to aid in music teaching and learning. So using it as a tool to help with the music teaching and learning process. Tech to aid in teacher effectiveness and efficiency. So that has to do with everything from how you manage the classroom to, tools that you can use in the classroom to help things run smoothly and efficiently. And then tech to aid in teacher organization and wellness. And I'm not going to forget that part because tech has really helped me a lot when it comes to the wellness piece and being organized. When you are teaching from home exclusively and you're teaching something like band, you have to get really organized and really focused, or you can get very scattered quickly. And so that applies even to the band room and to the orchestra room and to the music room, especially for the elementary music room, because you teach everybody in the school at some point. So, ooh. Bless your hearts. Special place for all of you people that teach elementary music. You are my heroes. All right, so let's keep it moving. Tech as a source of music making. So this is where we're going to start. And this is where I am what you would call just hooked and addicted. Like it is just um yeah, I'm a junkie right now when it comes to tech as a source of music making and finding ways to use technology to create and to make music. Um,
Um,
and
ex-
I
Sorry,
think
excuse me, Dr. Bell McCoy. I can't see your shared screen again. Do you want me to try to
yes, you want
see
me
if
to
it will
just
come through?
here. I'm gonna just stop share.
All right, I'll see. I've got yours up. I'll see if it'll share from here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, is it coming through to you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just tell me when to click.
Okay. Click.
All right, hang on, let me mute.
Okay. So I have really bad vision. Is there any way to put that into slideshow mode? Can't see. So you just click on the slideshow button, will that work?
Which one is the slideshow button? Sorry, I haven't used
In
this.
the
This
right
one?
corner. The
Oh,
right corner.
right corner is covered up. Haha, okay. Is that better?
It's like neck. Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right. So, like I said, creating music digitally is a big part of music technology, and it's going to be the biggest chunk of what we talk about today. But this is where things are very new for me, and I just kind of fell into this when we had to hunker down for COVID. My school system was virtual for almost the entire school year. Um, Meaning teachers were even at home. And so it was just a really, it was a time when I had to get really creative and figure a lot of things out. So this is what we always think about when we think about including music technology in the classroom. Typically, we talk about creating music digitally. Well, that's because creating is a standard in for all of us, right? For any music class that you're teaching, whether it be general music or all the way to jazz band, you're creating. Creating is a part of our standards, and so that we often overlook that standard in our music classrooms. Unfortunately, we're very much about like performing, and we remember to respond, but sometimes we forget to create because it is just difficult because we're responsible for all of these concerts and performances and all of this. So um, this is a way to expand the reach of music by using technology to pull more kids into the whole music making process. Kids that aren't in band, orchestra, or chorus, kids that don't have any desire to do that, kids that want to make music but don't quite want to play an instrument or sing or do anything really formal. They want that freeness. This is a great way to do that. And it's a great way to allow for the students that are currently in your performing ensembles to interact with music in a new and fresh way. All right, next slide, please. So we're going to talk a little bit about different resources for music tech, as we're going to go through each one. Now, Dr. Holmes Davis, this is where things will get tricky. I am going to ask you to do a lot of clicking. But Robin, you have access to this slideshow, a copy of it. So I would highly encourage you to interact with it while we're going through this so that you could kind of see all of the websites. I linked everything so that you have access to it. So feel free to click and point and click and do all of the things. And if you have questions, just jump right in and ask. Okay. Next slide. So we're going to first talk about digital audio workstations, and this is the thing that a lot of people know about. Soundtrap, all of these different programs. And this is just as a old school. I've been teaching band since the early 2000s, and all I think about is, this is just not something that was on my radar. The digital audio workstation thing became a huge deal, and I had to learn about it because we wrote a grant for a music tech lab. And so I was like, well, I can't write this grant if I don't know anything about it. So that is where that whole thing started to unfold for me. Slide. So the first one, and you've probably heard of these, but you might not have thought about using them in your classroom. But the first one is BandLab. And if you want to click on um, that link, it will take you to my BandLab account. This is, yeah, don't worry about logging in. But if you go to this, you can sign up for free, and you can collaborate with your students in BandLab. So you can start a project where you have like maybe some type of beat that you are focusing on. You're going to focus on the beat. So you're focusing on like that. You got the 808 going. You're doing the beat, and you want your students to come in and lay other tracks on top of those. You can invite them into the BandLab. You all can collaborate, and everybody basically has a different track that they're doing in that project. And then you can put it all together, and you've got a new project. So we can go back to the slideshow. It is best suited for middle and high schoolers. That's who it's best suited for, but it's great because not only do the students get to create, but they can collaborate, and they don't have to collaborate with you as the teacher. They can collaborate with each other as well, and you can just kind of be there to watch this all unfold. But this is a great tool for those asynchronous learning days or those digital learning days when they're at home and you want them to interact with the music in a fun and fresh way to keep them from getting bored. And this is a great way to do that. Slide. Another one is Soundtrap. Soundtrap is an online digital audio workstation as well. It's easy to use. The interface is really easy. If I can do it, it's easy for anybody. I actually created a ringtone in Soundtrap, and so like all the links are just not going to really work because I was going to open mine, but it's okay. No worries. But there is a great opportunity with Soundtrap because, well, we use Soundtrap in our music tech lab. So there is a license for us. You can do a free trial, try it out, see if you like it, and your whole music department can use it, or across your cluster or whatever. So it's a great tool because it does integrate with Google Classroom and Noteflight. It's a great tool to have, and you can also build those tracks and those projects, and you can lay your beats and your melodic material, voice, instruments, all of the things. You can do all of that. So that's really great. The really great thing about Soundtrap, and maybe in one of these breaks here, I'll play my ringtone for you. Maybe that it'll come through. Slide. So some other DAWs that and a lot of people, I still call them digital audio workstations because that's what they are to me, because they are very foreign. But a lot of people like, they'll talk in like DAWs, the DAWs. And I was like, what are you talking about? What's a DAW? But yeah, digital audio workstations, that's what it is. So when you start delving into this music tech world, you'll see that there's a whole nother language that we don't learn in school a lot of times, but but there's Studio One Prime. It works on both Mac and PC. The free version is still really great, and you can upgrade it, but the free version has a lot of options and a lot of tools for you. There's GarageBand. It's just for Mac. It's easy to use. It's appropriate for all grades. There's lots of uses for it, different projects that you can use GarageBand for to create music for other things, create soundscapes for digital storytelling, all of these different types of things, but it is for Macs only. So that is a limitation of it. And then some others that I am not as familiar with. I just have been introduced to them. Soundation, AudioSona, and Audio Tool. Audio Tool is a little more complex and kind of difficult to navigate. Is best suited for high school. So in all of this grant writing process, we tried out, we looked at all of the different digital audio workstations, and the ones that we use the most are BandLab and Soundtrap. So those are the ones we have licenses for. The other ones we tried out, we also do use GarageBand because our tech lab is a Mac tech lab. So that is built into all Macs. So we use that as well. But the other ones, we just looked at them. We just kind of sampled with them, looked at them, tried them, but we landed on BandLab, Soundtrap as our primary one, and GarageBand. Slide. So the next section is drum machines, and it is amazing what a beat will do for a warm-up. Just creating a beat, like a nice beat that can be going behind the warm-up. For some reason, that just gets the kids like super excited. Let's do these long tones. Let's get it popping with these flow studies, but I don't know. And it can be useful for, everyone, vocalists, instrumentalists, general music, it doesn't matter. Just a good beat is a great way to catch kids' attention. Slide. So there are a lot of links here to different ones, and they're just really good. My favorite one, though, is Groove Pizza. It's just so cute. If you could click on that. And so you can just like kind of click on what parts of the pizza you want to, just click and just make different shapes and just click and click and click. And yeah, that's good. Click some more, maybe, yeah, and then hit play. Oh, I can't hear the sound. Oh no. Is it because you're muted?
Yes, let's try again.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Well, you can see that it's all lighting up and all that. And that's just like you just created those beats. So when you're just clicking in your pizza there and you're making your different, you're clicking on your different things, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of those are a different like channel. And so you're creating all of those different beats. So you're using all of those different beats, and it is super cool. The kids get into it. You can make different ones. You've got your voice one, you got another voice there, or another track that you can use. So you've got all of these different things. You can change the tempo. You can make it swing. You can do all kinds of things. You can change how many slices of the pizza you have. So for younger kids, take away, like, don't do 16 slices. You know what I'm saying? Do like 4. So you can do all these different things with this, and it's just so cute. And it's easy to do, and the kids laugh at me because, they're like, we're not in elementary school, but the second that groove starts cooking, they're like, okay, all right, let's do these long tones. And so it really does, it just adds something to the classroom. And we can go back to the slideshow now. So I would encourage you to just check out all of these links. They're all live, and you can access all of these different drum machines to try out. I just did the most, like the ones that are easiest to use. Those are the ones I put in here. There are others. Let me see, I have a list. Let me make sure. Because some of them are just a little more difficult to navigate, and so I didn't put some of them on here. Okay, so like HML 808, it's a really great, it's just a basic 808 machine, which is an old school beat maker, right? That's what, if you've ever listened to like 90s hip hop and someone talked about the 808, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about that drum machine and that beat maker. So that one is a little more complicated to use, as is One Motion Drum Machine. For elementary folks, that Rhythm in Chrome Music Lab is super cute and it's really simple, but it's really great for young students that want to play around with music, especially if you're a school that has Chromebooks and you just want them to kind of play around with different rhythms, different sounds. That's it. That Rhythm in Chrome Music Lab is super, super cute, super simple and easy to navigate for the kids. So all of these are accessible to you. You can just go to all of them. Could you click on that Rhythm in Chrome Music Lab for me? Yeah. And so, see, it's just super simple, and it's just you decide what beats you want the colors correspond. So the orange drum there, you see that orange drum, it corresponds to those orange dots. So he's already set. Then you got your triangle on the top row, and then you got your higher drum on the second row. And so you've got all of these different things that can happen, and they just can just play those and they can fill them in how they want. And then you've got your little, ting, and then ting, and it's super cute, but it's so simple, but it allows them to play around with this idea of rhythmic creation. So it's just a super fun thing. And like I said, all of those links are live for you. So feel free to play around with those grooves and those beat machines, those drum machines. They're really, really fun. And create one, record it, put it on one day over the span to see what your kids say. And if they're like, oh, what is that? That's a nice beat. I made that beat. That was me. I used blah, blah, blah to make that beat. And guess what? You're going to do the same thing. So getting them excited about creating, sometimes we got to get out of the box of just thinking about creating just in our lane. So if you teach chorus, you're thinking of creating just choral stuff, like vocal stuff. No, they can create beats as well and sing over those beats. They can create in elementary music. They're not too young to create. Creation is where we really learn to love music. And we're not just like consumers. We're a creator, and we create these new musical ideas, and they have so much more creativity than we do as old folks, and they can pull that out of us. And this is a great way to show your kids and to demonstrate you're willing to get out of your comfort zone and play with the music and have fun with it still, even though this is what you do for work. Slide. So more ways to create using tech. These are just some more resources and some more things. We talked about digital audio workstations, and we talked about drum machines. These are just some other things that we're going to go over. Slide. Okay, so some of these things they're just fun. They're just fun. So this is where play comes into play. You want to just have fun with it. So if you click on that bite-sized beats, that is you do have to tell them how old you are, because they don't want you to be like 12 or something. Oh, I was like, wait a minute now. So yeah, you have all of these abilities to create all of these different sounds, and it's just the M&Ms people, and it's set up as well as powered by Incredibox, right? So it's set up just like Incredibox, which we will talk about in a second. But you can assign beats, effects, melodies, or voices to all of the M&Ms, and you create these different tunes. It's like the world of beatboxing, right? Beatboxing, singing, a cappella is super cool. The kids will love it. This specific one is a marketing tool, right? But to like market M&Ms, of course. But it is really, really cute and cool. And then if you get like, you can record it. You have to have like 30 seconds, I think, of your video to record it, and you record it and you can share it with the world. And so once you build it, you just kind of like pick, I want this M&M to do beats. And then you can decide, I don't like that. And then I want this M&M to do that, to do this, to do that. Do we know how to get that sound going? Yeah.
Sorry, I actually don't know why it's not going. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's like my singing monsters.
Yes, yes, it's so cute. And so you can just take this and you can record it and you can play around with it. And I like this sound, I like that sound, I like this M&M sounds good on this, and this M&M, I like this effect, and blah, 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 blah. So it's a really cool little thing for the kids and for you to play with. And then they can record and share all of these little tunes that they're making. So it's super fun. All right, and so Beat Blender, if you click on that for me. Yeah, there you go. So Beat Blender is essentially, you can either drag the little dot to make different beats, or you can draw shapes to create those beats. So yeah. And then if you just draw, you can just draw a shape and it'll create some types of sounds and some beats for you. And I think you can hit play and it should play for you.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, like we can hear the residual of your, like, because we can hear you, we can hear it, but it's just not coming through.
Yeah, I have to check into that. I don't know why.
Yeah, that is always a beast. But yeah, we can go back to the slide. So yeah, play around with Beat Blender, and play around with the M&Ms thing is so cute. It's just like Incredibox, but it is super cool. And we can go back to the slide.
Okay, I'm working on it.
Okay.
Um, come on, come on. Haha, here we go.
Okay. And then Scribble Audio is the same thing as Beat Blender. It has that
Sorry, I'm
it's
all
okay.
professional today.
It has um that same idea of scribbling to create. And so it's just a little bit different. And so you can scribble there in the middle and create all of these different sounds, and yeah, and it will keep going.
Oh.
So it's a good way to bring some fun into the classroom, right? So into creating sometimes I think creates a lot of anxiety for the kids and for the teacher. But it's gonna keep going. So you can probably just close that
I'm
one.
trying.
It's gonna keep on. It is not gonna stop. Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. That was me last night. Making sure all the links were live, and I was like, why won't it stop? But yeah, it's a great way to, to just have some fun, just have a good time. And so, if you go to the next slide, this is one that I made. It's just an Incredibox that I made. And the Incredibox is, like I said, is based on this idea of like the a cappella groups. So with the, you have singing and then you have beatboxing and you have effects and you have just different sounds that people are making with their voices. So if you click on that, that should be, it's just a super cool little, it's called First Try, dedicated to the music teachers out there. I'm now a DJ. So if you hit play, it should. And so you just build all of these, you just decide what you like.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And that's just, and you can download it as an app or you can just use it through the web. It's fine. It all does the same thing. But that's just a great way to just play and just to create and to get out of our boxes. I have found that the more I kind of play around with like all the music tech stuff and get really uncomfortable and create really bad things and create things that are really not cool and they, they age me or whatever. The more I do that, the more uninhibited I am on the podium with the music that we're actually playing, right? So I'm not as afraid to make mistakes. And your kids will experience that too if they just go through this whole idea of just playing and creating and taking the pressure off of creating in the music room. If you take that pressure off, they will become much more, even if they're creating really like corny stuff and it doesn't sound good and they laugh about it, they're still creating and they're still evaluating what they're creating and they're still enjoying music and interacting with music. And it's a great way to fill those, especially those asynchronous learning days or those days where you're on weird schedule where you're only going to see them for like 25 minutes and then you've got to go to an assembly or something like that. It's a great way to fill that time so that they're not just sitting there or they're not just, feeling like they have to do this or you're like, oh, we have to grade this, I have to do this and grade this. No, this is a great way for them to just play. Everybody's got the earbuds, they can just throw them in, boop. We keep a lot of them in the band room so that if they forget them and they need some for a lesson that we're doing that day, because everyone is one-to-one at my school, we just have them throw those, here you go, here's a pair of earbuds, you can just keep. They throw those things in and they're on those computers playing, laughing and giggling, and they forget they're in high school and they're super cool. So this is a great way to get them to interact with music in a different way, and it can kind of bleed over into the other parts of your program. So when you're asking them to play these you know, to do a drum circle for the first time and there's too cool for school, they've already played around with music and they're not as inhibited and they're not as shackled in as kids that don't create and don't play around and don't enjoy and have fun with music. Okay, off my soapbox now. Slide. These are just some other options. The Chrome Music Lab, I just think the Kandinsky project that they have with Chrome Music Lab is so cool because it connects art and music. And so it's down there, right there, the little scribbles. If you go back up some, right above oscillators. Yeah, that's the Kandinsky project. Kandinsky was, an artist. And you can just draw all these different shapes and it becomes sound. You can do it in different colors. So if you choose to do it in the blues and the greens, you're going to get different sounds than you get with the reds and the oranges and all of that. And so all of these shapes will create different. So they keep the shape but change the color and you get all of these different sounds. So it's pretty cool and I think young kids will really like it. fly, fly. So it's so simple, but it's so cute too at the same time. And it connects. It's like cross curricular, which is another thing that is a standard that we forget to address a lot of times. We forget to go across the curriculum and connect music to the other art forms. And so that's a great way to do it. I love that Kandinsky project. I spent too much time playing around with that. Like you would have thought I was 7 years old. And then Dephonic is really just for soundscapes. So I use that to just sometimes, even though I have like a whole bunch of soundscapes on just in my library, like to just click in Apple Music and just play it. Because Friday nights, this is all I'm playing. The kids call it the spa at Cedar Shoals because I have my diffuser going and I have the soundscapes going, and you can just create different sounds and different levels and decide, do I want the crackling fire? Do I want the waves? Do I want a storm? Do I want it to be nighttime sounds? Like, what do I want? And so you can just create those and they'll just play, and they're just playing in the background. And that's good for wellness. And sometimes your kids just need a minute, right? You can create that on the fly, throw it on those speakers and just say, okay, everybody, we're just going to take a minute and a half and we're just going to chill. And it really does help. You want to create your own custom soundscapes, and it's free. You can upgrade it and all of the things, of course, but that version is free, and it's really, really great for sometimes you just need to chill out, and sometimes you need to calm your mind. Calm your mind. That's something that as music people we forget is super important, because stimulation and being stimulated is so huge for us. Like we are constantly looking to be stimulated because we're always creating, we're always performing, but sometimes you need to calm your mind because you will lose your mind if you don't calm it. And so those soundscapes are really cool to use. Okay, slide. And so these are just some other sites. Dr. Music, that site, a lot of people know about that. It's got a lot of free games, opportunities to create, just a lot of different things, practicing music reading, all kinds of things. I mean, it runs the gamut. It has everything. Check it out. They've added a few more things recently that I think are super cute, especially for elementary music. That's really what Dr. Music is geared toward, younger musicians and getting them. And I call everybody a musician because everyone is a musician. At some point in your life, you're a musician because we all take music in elementary school, and at least we should. And so we're all musicians and we're all consumers of music, and we're all, so we need to talk about our kids that way. And then there's Pad-a-Tap. Well, you can just create with just a computer keyboard. You don't need a MIDI keyboard or anything. Every key on your keyboard is attached to a certain sound, and you just sit on the kids can just get on there and just. So that's a really great way to just have like, okay, 2 minutes of just Pad-a-Tap, put the earbuds in, 2 minutes of creating, go. Just have a good time. Just go. Don't think about anything else. Just put your earbuds in. Let's go. And then there's Sampulator, and it's just it's the same idea as Pad-a-Tap. It's that whole idea of creating with the computer keyboard. So you're not needing instruments or anything like that. It's all built in, and you just use the keyboard and play around with the different sounds. Okay, slide. All right, so at this point, we're at the end of that first big section. I told you that was the biggest part, getting through all of that. But if there are any questions at this point, feel free to ask or just drop them in the chat. Anything about all of that stuff we just covered. Okay, so if you do have questions, we'll talk about how to submit those questions to me later in the slideshow as well. All right, and we can just keep going. Slide. So the next section, just take a little sip here, sorry. All right, thank you. Thank you. Coffee is the best. Is tech to aid in music teaching and learning. So we're going to talk about how we can use tech to assist us in the things that we already do. Now, the first section was all about using tech in a new way to create in a different and fresh way, to make music in a new and interesting way. But let's be real. The biggest standard is performing, right? So really singing, playing, all the things. That's our biggest standard, right? That's the one that holds the most water, and that's the one that really does drive the work that we do most of the time. So tech can aid in that. Tech can help us. So let's jump right in. Slide. So I'm looking at this from like a practical standpoint. So using tech for the nuts and bolts of what we do as music teachers. And that's really about music literacy, whether it's melodic literacy, rhythmic literacy, doesn't matter. That is a vital part of creating a successful program. So we're going to look at tech for helping with note reading, music theory, music composition, ear training, music history, all of those, like the nuts and the bolts of what we do. All right, slide. So tech for note reading. So we're going to look at different things to help us with our note reading practice. All right, again, I already brought up Dr. Music. It's a lot of free games and exercises there to help with the note reading. If you could click on that link for me, just so that we can see what the website looks like. So you see there, we've got apps and songs for the music room, lots of apps and games. There's free stuff, there's stuff you can purchase, but it's also, got all of the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. Well, that's fifth grade math lessons. It goes through fourth grade. But one of my favorite ones is Beatbots. It's so cute. Oh yeah. But it's all these different, yeah, you got different beats and going, and it's like little bots that do it all. So it's just super cute. So if you click, yeah, there it goes. And so you see your little bots there, and you can use the keyboard as well to help you with that. And you can record and you can create all of these different beats and use the little bots. So cute. I love it. Yeah, this is what's during my planning period. This is what's coming from my office a lot of days, just because that, like I said, I'm obsessed with it, and I know I don't teach elementary school, but I just enjoy these things, and I'm always like my poor little elementary music teachers in my cluster. They're like, oh my gosh, just me one more thing, I'm gonna scream. But I just love it, and it's so much fun, and it's such a way to get kids to interact with music early and realize that they can create from the very beginning. Like they're music creators, they're music producers, they're music performers. They're all of these things so early on, and I love that whole thing. But there's the name the note, treble and bass clef reading games. There's Music Racer. There's Note Identification Trainer. These probably aren't new to you, but I just figured that I would bring them up. These are all free resources that you can use. If you want to click on that Note Identification Trainer, you can there. And so this is basically just musictheory.net, and it's just a great way to just, quick, let's go. Let's get these notes. And we can do them, you can do them in class together. You can do them individually. The kids can just do these on their own, and it tells them when they get it right, and it tells them when they get it wrong. And so it helps them, and it gives them a score there. So they're able to correct themselves and get the right answer, but it does keep track of the score they got. So yeah, it's just a really cool, simple, minimalistic way, and that's just inside of musictheory.net. A lot of times I like to give people that link directly, but so you don't have to like go searching for it in the website. So yeah, that's a direct link to that Note ID trainer. All right, slide. And so next way that we can use tech is to help with just music theory. So those were just about Note IDs, but especially as you get up into your performing groups in middle school, secondary music, you really have to delve deep into music theory. So these are the things that we use at my school. So I'm just going to go over some of these. Now, I should be getting paid by how often I talk about breezing through theory. It has been a game changer for me. I have been a band director since 2002, and I always do music theory. And I think I attribute that to my piano teacher. I started on piano when I was in kindergarten. And from the very beginning with her, we did music theory. It was just a part of what we did. And sometimes it was flashcards when I was really young and really, really little. We did a lot of flashcards and things like that. But as I got older, we were doing a full out music theory curriculum. Like she had it all laid out. And it corresponded with the level that we were playing. So all of my kids have always done music theory, and the amount of time I used to spend grading worksheets and grading quizzes and grading tests that were handwritten it was a nightmare. So I found this program. It is a web-based music program, and it is great. It has a theory component and a composing component. And it's a full curriculum. It is a subscription, but our county and my principal pays for it from our literacy funds because it is linked to one of our literacy goals. And having kids be literate and use the language and understand the language of the subject area is a part of our school improvement plan. And so this has been really helpful. Our theory scores, we do pre-test, post-test every semester, and the theory scores have gotten so much better. It's for like grades 5 through 12. It also includes alto and tenor clef. And so you can include it or you can leave it out. So if you're a band person, you can leave it out. If you're an orchestra person, you can include it. And so it's just a really great program. The kids get assignments pushed straight out to them. I put them in Google Classroom. Everything is really seamless. And it grades it for me. I am able to put those scores in. And then when it's time for our big summative assessments, I take the summative assessment and I create a Google form quiz so that I'm not having to still grade the paper. But you print off, they have assessments, they have all of that included with your subscription. So it can be accessed on every single device, phones, tablets, laptops, desktops, all the things, all the computers. And it's great. It has changed the game for us with music theory. And then slide. Breezing through composing. A different slide. Can we go back one slide, please?
Sorry, give me just a moment.
It's okay. So I'll talk to you about breezing through composing. It is linked to breezing through theory. We didn't start with that in the beginning. We just did breezing through theory, but then we added composing because we just had kids that wanted to compose, and it hit me, you know what? As a standard, I should probably be doing more of that. And so because it starts so simply and so easily, and it reinforces the concepts that are taught in breezing through theory, They align perfectly. So you use the skills that you pick up. Thank you. You use the skills that you pick up in breezing through theory, in breezing through composing. And so, like as it says, it's ready-made lessons that you don't have to teach. They teach them. Grades 5 through 12. Um, it allows the kids to access it, tablets, phones, computers, Chromebooks, everything, all the things. And it can be used with notation and sequencing software. So they have they even have instructions. We use NoteFlight at my school, and so it has instructions of how they should create, like how they use NoteFlight to create their melody that they're composing. So it's just it's very helpful. And it hits the kids where they, I mean, it's web based. They can do it on their phone, and how, like, oh, how cool is it that I can be on my phone in class? You better be on your phone doing your theory and not checking your Snapchat or your TikToks and all of the things. But we try to meet them where they are, and technology is definitely part of their life. So we try to incorporate the things we know they need to know and the skills they need to have. We try to incorporate that into their world in a way that is meaningful. So that's why we moved, not just for me and not wanting to grade all those papers, but for them to get what they needed in a way and on a platform that they could relate to and not hate or lose, because they would lose the packets that I would give them with the lessons. So that's that. All right. And also I do make lessons. Like I'll make a video. You don't have to go back. I can make a video. Don't worry about going. Yeah, it's all good. You don't have to go back. But yeah, I make videos so that sometimes they have words that they include, like on the they talk on these lessons in breezing through theory and composing. But sometimes I'll make a video and talk on top of that in the language that I know that they hear every day. So the way I talk and the way I explain things. And so that also helps because we have those archives so they can watch those videos or they can just go through the program. But either way, they're getting the same information. Okay, now slide. So of course, everybody knows about musictheory.net. It's another web-based music theory lessons site, and it's an app available. It's great. We use that as well. I don't believe in discrimination, so I use everything. But yeah, musictheory.net was my go-to until I found Breezing Through Theory, and then we use that a lot more now. We use musictheory.net still, but there is an app available. It does make it a little bit easier because now the kids can just use that app on their phones or their tablets. And see, everything's laid out, and it's laid out with, what the topics are. And so everything's kind of grouped, and it just gets increasingly, complex as you move through the lessons. It's a lot of text, which is fine, but it works. So you've got all of these different tools, and this is where we use musictheory.net the most, and that's with the tools. The tools are great. And so you see here your beat blender.
Sorry, I'm gonna fix it.
It's okay. Okay, there we go. So yeah, um, and then also music cards. As a web-based music theory flashcards site. There are flashcards there if you want to click on that. And so you see you've got the different ones, your note names, key signatures, intervals, triads, all of that, piano note names, all of that. And so, I'm going to say this, and this is just me again on my soapbox. If you teach like secondary music and you're not teaching the piano keyboard, you're really missing an opportunity to give kids a really a concrete way to think about key signature, sharps, flats, half steps, whole steps, building scales, all of those different things. Putting it on the key signature is so much easier than trying to explain it in a really abstract way. So yeah, and so you see you can get your minor keys, you can do your major keys, you flip them over, bass clef, treble clef, you can use them both, you can use one. So you have a lot of different options with this, and that's why I like music cards. There are other, sites out there, but these are the ones that I've come across that I actually really like. Okay, we could go back. And again, Teoria or Teoria, I think that's how you say it. It's another web-based music theory program as well. And it also has ear training as well as other music theory lessons on there as well. So it's very much like the others, just a slightly different interface there. You can just hit close on that and it'll, yeah. All right, so we can go to the next slide. And so tech for ear training. Ear training was not my jam in college. I did not enjoy ear training. Loved music theory, loved it, loved it. Ear training, dreaded it, and I don't know why. It just created so much anxiety for me, but that was the area that I was lacking in. That is what kept me out of governor's honors, I think, was ear training. It was really difficult for me to wrap my head around using my ears to make musical decisions because I depended so much on my eyes. Yeah, so I vowed that I would not be that or not create those types of students. So I've linked a lot of programs here that you can try. And ear training isn't just pitch, it's also rhythmic. So especially as we move, into like being able to audiate rhythm, being able to audiate pitch is really important. So Rhythm Dice is super cute. It's inside of the whole four website thing, and you can go to different games. And Dice is over on the right side in the corner beside Polyrhythm Looper. Yep, over, yep. And so you roll the dice and you got to figure out, what's that rhythm. And so you should be able to hear it, and then you can roll the dice, but I don't know if you can hear it. So it's just a cool way of randomizing rhythmic, like, can you read that rhythm? Do you know that rhythm? Can you count that rhythm? Can you tap that rhythm? Can you, so it's a cool way to randomize like ear training opportunities. And then there are a lot of other tools on there as well for ear training. So it's not just that one. You can use it for other different rhythm things like clapping. There's some more, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, explore that. Those rhythm trainers are great. Explore those. There's a solfege one that you can practice solfege, I think off of the Circle of Fifths, I think. Yes. And it's cool. It's a great way to practice your solfege, practice your being able to audiate those sounds and being able to then produce them and do the visual representation for them. So you've got your current hand signs, you've got your solfege, and you've got your pitch. So you can do C major scale, A minor scale, they're there together. So it's a really cool tool to play around with. And if you're band kids, if you teach band or orchestra, and if they're not singing, they should be singing. Singing is so important. Singing is our voice is our first instrument. So yeah. And those others you can, musictheory.net has some great ear training opportunities there. Teoria also has great ear training opportunities. So all of those links are live, so you can access all of those sites directly. All right, slide. So I'm a band director. I keep bringing that up. So I have to talk about tech for the band room just real quick. And everything that I talk about can also be used in like the orchestra room, just in a different way. So it's okay. I'm not discriminating, but I am a band person, so I have to acknowledge that my peeps, we don't always embrace technology. And when we say the technology I'm using in my room, we're talking about the metronome. You know what I'm saying? So we probably need to get out of that. But tech for the band room. Slide. So these are just some ideas. These are things that I landed on and found as I was teaching virtually. And we were literally still trying to build individual playing skills. And so when we came back, we were hybrid and we were still trying to build individual playing skills. And so we were doing a lot of different things. So I landed on this site, McAllister Music. Great site, has a lot of backing tracks for long tones that we already do. A lot of arrangements that are free, some are not free, some are free. But some of these, like for example, the cinematic long tones there, if you can click on that, that's a YouTube video. And we just play that thing behind the long tones. And for some reason the kids love it. I don't know. It's weird. But they love it and it works for them. And sorry, I'm at the house, so everything you never know. But it helps with pitch because it kind of provides that drone, so it helps with being able to play in tune. You can also use it for orchestra. There warm-ups for orchestra as well. There are rhythm tracks that you can use. That one in the top left corner, that's a rhythm track, and it helps with, like, they get the paper, you put it in there, they put it on their stand, and they're reading these rhythms, and they are having to stay in time with the rhythm tracker, and it's like a video game. That's the way it's kind of built. And then those improvisation tracks. Improvisation is important, and we tend to only think about it as a part of jazz band, and that's not cool. So you have, just take time to just explore, because he has chamber, he writes, but he also provides a lot of the resources that he creates for his classroom. As you can see, the free resources there. He has lots of different adaptable small ensembles, and he just has done a really good job of compiling a lot of things, and it really has blown up since the pandemic. So he found his niche, but he's also a band director that uses all of this in his classroom. But we use the improvisation track, and it's just a track based on the C pentatonic scale, and it's not jazz based. It's like this very lush, sweet sound, and the kids get notes that they can use, that they can select from, and they create their own rhythm, and they are just playing over this track, and it's all kind of happening at the same time. It's just super cool. It works really well, and the kids like it once they get used to it. In the beginning, they did not like me for this because it was out of the box. They didn't have anything to read. They were just having to use those notes and make their own musical decisions. But I think it's really started to empower them. Now, metronomes and tuners. Now, I am a big fan. Again, I should get money from the tonal energy people because I use this religiously. And I think that it really does help with the kids understanding how tone works, and it's set up in a way that allows you to tune a middle school band all the way through a professional player. So you can change the way you tune. So how how many beats can you allow? So if you go from wide will be a beginning player to fine is going to be a professional player. So um, for all of my band classes, I have them set on like, well, the wind ensemble is set on fine, and it is not fine with them. They're just like, okay, can you just bump that? Nope. You have to be able to hit this mark. But everyone else is set one level back so that we can work on tuning or yeah, teaching them how to tune and how many beats to accept. You know, your ears will get very sensitive to it. Get creative with your metronome, get creative with your tuners. Make sure you, if you want to project them. That's really great so the kids can see the big smiley face. um, really running that metronome in a way that matches the music, not just having just the beat just going, having programming it in a way that makes it match the music that they're playing and helps them internalize beat and helps them subdivide. I feel like that's what the metronome really is about, is really teaching them how to feel the insides of all of our beats. And those are just some of the ideas that we use in the band room every day. All right, slide. And then Tech for Music History. Um, this is something that, again, we often forget about, but it's something that we should be teaching our students. Slide. So these are just some resources. They're all linked. Music history and repertoire. The one, Every Noise at Once, is really a really cool site. If you just, want to just figure out what in the world, you can go to any of these like genre here, click on one, and it'll start playing uh, an example of that genre. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. So you can just tap on that and just explore. And that's just a way for you to expose students to other types of music, all kinds of genre. I just think it's just visually very cool. And it just kind of exposes you to things um, you wouldn't normally listen to. But the rest of these, Classics for Kids, Dallas Symphony Orchestra Kids site, the World Music Network, that's all great stuff, especially the activities that they have and connected to the repertoire that they've performed. They have all these different games, and they have things where you can make your own instruments and all these little lessons, and it's really, really cool. Again, great asynchronous learning day things, or just a day at home, or a digital learning day. Really great ways to incorporate just a little something different. So yeah, we've got all these different little lessons. So they're really cool. So yeah, those are just some simple websites. Okay, and so we're at the end of that section. Are there any questions? All right, so Dr. Holmes Davis, maybe we could take like a little 5-minute or 2-minute break and just come back after two
All right.
minutes.
Tell me how long you want to go, and we'll go.
All right, let's just do it. What's 1:20? Let's just do a 3-minute break.
All right.
That works. All right, I'll see you back in 3 minutes.
All right.
Okay, so I'm ready if you are. Tech to aid in teacher effectiveness and efficiency. So this isn't going to be um, specific to music stuff, like music technology. This is just going to be technology things that can help you in your classroom. Some of it will be music forward, some of it will not be. All right, slide. So tech to aid in managing the classroom. This is a, a thing for me. I really get into classroom management and making sure that we create a positive learning environment that's also very rigorous. No matter what level the student is, they should be working from a space of high expectations. We have high expectations. We expect them to treat the learning environment with respect. And a great way to manage that is just to be ready for it. So let's talk about that. So um, the classtools.net, that website has a lot of different tools on it. You can click on that. Has a lot of different tools on it that help. Uh-oh,
Ah,
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Gotta love technology. Um, but it has a lot of different little tools on it that can help you with managing the classroom. One of them is that random name picker. You put in the names and you can just spin and then you can call on people because no one, everyone says, well, you're picking on my baby. You're always asking him hard questions. And then, no, I'm not. It's a random name picker. I'm just spinning and his name pops up. Little Tyrone's name just popped up. And so it's all good. Um, but yeah, it has a really good, yeah, there we go. It has other little tools there that you can use as well, but this is the random name picker. And so you just, once you have to edit it and save it and all that, but you can switch to the slot machine, which is probably a little, we're encouraging gambling early, but whatever. Um, but you just click it, you start and and it'll, once you've put your names in. Now, if you have a huge band class, you probably don't want to, it might get a little problematic. But if you've got a smaller, like, class, that's fine. And you can change the color, you can change the wheel theme, you can do all of the different things. So it's just a cool tool to have up there. And you can put your logo there because for us, I'll put that little, like our little band logo, I'll put it in the corner. And
Oh,
so they, I don't do it as much now because I just basically call everyone every day at this point. If you're in the wind ensemble, it's small anyway, and just know you're probably going to get called on. So I don't need the random name picker. I'm just going to pick on whoever I want to because that's the beauty of the wind ensemble. So this is a great tool to use if you want to make sure that you're calling on everyone and every voice is heard. So that's really important. The countdown timer, that's just a YouTube link. And it has music with it, and I have like a gazillion of these on with every time. 8 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 15 minutes. I mean, it's all kind. The kids know I'm a timer person. I like to time myself so that I stay on track, and I time them so they stay on track. So um, that is a really great thing to use to keep yourself on track. Now, this classroom screen, I hope that it can, yeah, click on that. I hope that you can see that because it is not mine. But you can create polls, you can have a timer on there, you can throw a QR code up there, text box, the clock, all kinds of things. And this is free. This is the free version. There is an upgraded version, but I don't have that one. So like on mine, I'll have a poll that I throw up at the end, and I'll say, did we meet our musical goal today? Because we all had our goal that we had posted. Did we meet our musical goal today? And they can vote. I'll have the QR code for the submission of work. They're late. If they've turned in late work, they can and fill out the form and let me know that they turned in late work. I'll have a timer up there. You can even have a noise, like, are we getting too loud thing going on, and it'll use your microphone to record whether or not you're getting too loud, and it'll have like a meter. And so if they're supposed to be doing quiet work or group work and they're starting to get too loud, it'll give you like a meter there. But this is just great because it keeps you from getting crazy and having a gazillion different screens open. So, I'm a one tab kind of person, so I'll pull all of my little tabs into one tab. But even then, I'll have a timer up, then I'll have this up, then I'll have that up, then I'll have this up, and I'll have that up. And so it's just too many things. And so sometimes I just need, because we need to move quickly, I'll have everything up on this, and I'll be able to keep myself on track, and they'll know exactly where I'm going next. With that being said, now we can go back to the um, the rehearsal slides, and this is my actual rehearsal slides. You have to make a copy of it, yeah, and you'll have access. This is the rehearsal slides that I use at my school every day, and these are the slides that, and you can make anybody, all of you can have access to these. And I just basically took a slide from Slides Mania. In case you haven't noticed, I love Slides Mania. They're free and they're great. They're visually very beautiful. And so I will have some days I'll have the things written here. This is what you need. And it's just real standard. This is from our boot camp time. If you scroll down the slideshow to like November, like recent, let me see, not that far back up. So it's like, it shouldn't be skipped. I kind of changed the formatting so you can kind of see, keep going up. And then let's see. There are some more slides. You have access to this. There's some where everything is on the side, and sometimes I'll have that individual practice timer extracted and just put the repertoire there so they can see exactly what we're going to be working on. Sometimes I'll have a timer and a recording in the little box. So yeah, that very next slide has the timer and it has the different makeup. So if you go to, yeah, so it has the recording of what I want you listening to. This is what I want you listening to because this is where we're going to start today. And I'll have a recording there. I'll have a timer set. Everything's kind of going the same way. I'll have the chunks laid out. This is exactly what I want from you today. So yeah, that is, and then I like to have a quote. My new quote is, to create something exceptional, one must be relentlessly focused on the smallest detail, and that's Giorgio Armani. And that is actually on the wall. It's a poster on my wall in my office, but I like to use that quote a lot because we were coming up on a concert, so they needed to know that we were focusing on small details. All right, we can go back to the slideshow. And so you have access to this. I got it from Slides Mania. Just make sure you always acknowledge that you credit them with getting it there and have the credits slide on there. And it's all good. It's a great resource. I love it. All right, slide. So tech to help with creating content. This is an area where, like I said, the virtual learning thing made me really have to dig deep and dive deep into this because I was having to create a lot of content for my students, and it was not easy. And so I had to find tools that worked for me as a musician. Slide. So a very new, you can click on that DaVinci Resolve. It is a new program, and I mean, I have not even tried to dive into this, but the kind of free version of this I mean, it's basically a media development tool. So you can create movies and with music and all the, I mean, it's a lot. This is not where I live, but it was worth a discussion because I would love to live here, but I'm not there yet. But I explored this a little bit, but I'm like, oh man, this is heavy. So you can get the free version, or you can get, the paid version. The paid version is for some serious media creation, right? And I'm not creating media like that. So if that is something you're super into and you want to create videos and, movies for your program to promote or, just showcase, here you go. This is a new resource that would be great for you, but I'm not there yet, so I can't really help you with how to make this work. Give me another year and maybe I'll understand it a little better. But I thought I would bring it up. Now, Canva, I'm addicted to Canva. I love Canva. It is free for educators, so take advantage of that. And you can even get your kids involved with it, and they can use Canva as well. But I like Canva to just create. I create posters for the classroom. I made stickers for people to buy, and they bought stickers, and there are Cedar Band stickers on cups and computers and notebooks and all that. And then we made all of these senior, what do you call those? Like those big posters that they make and they put in the stadium, all those. We made those in Canva. And so we had a professional photographer come in, and then we took those pictures that he gave us and we used them to create. And I use this is like an obsession. My assistant is not into this. This is me. This is my obsession, and I can't help it. He laughs at me all the time because I'm obsessed with Canva, and I want things to be visually very beautiful. And I think because we spent all of that time at home, the kids became so desensitized to everything, and things we didn't focus on, beauty and happiness. We were just all trying to stay alive. I think that having pretty things and visually appealing things hanging up in your band room and, on the wall and on your door and things that they will see every day is just really important. So I like to create posters. I like to create flyers that look really good. I do my programs in Canva because we just do a QR code and people can go to the program in Canva on their phone. They don't even, I don't even have to do all of the printing and picking up all of the programs that people leave all over the floor. Loom, I love Loom. I use Loom all the time. I have a gazillion Loom videos. I just recently made a Loom the other day. I love Loom. It is easy to use. You can capture your screen and talk over it with your picture, or with a picture of yourself that, like an icon or your picture, or yourself live. When I make videos for my students, I always use Loom because I like them to see me. And it was really important during the pandemic for them to see me as much as possible, because such a big part of being in middle school and high school and elementary school is seeing your teacher every day. And I wanted that for them. So when I discovered Loom, I used to use Screencastify all the time, pretty much exclusively, but I really liked the little circle on Loom, and Loom was a little bit easier for me to navigate. Okay, we can go back to the slideshow now. Again, I brought up Screencastify. That's a Chrome extension that you can use to do the same thing that you do with Loom. It's apples and oranges, right? Actually, it's apples and apples because it's the exact same thing. It's just a matter of what do you want to use it for. Screencastify is great. My students use Screencastify a lot because it is just a Chrome extension, and we are at Google for Education School, so we use that. And then there's finally Screencast-O-Matic as well, and that's another one where you can do the exact same thing. So they're all the same. They're all great. whatever floats your boat. I like Loom. That's just my thing. And it's just really, they've been great. These companies have been great with um, offering their services for teachers and making sure that we have access to these tools so that we can make this content that will be meaningful for the kids. All right, slide. So tech for assessment. So again, that music tech teacher, I don't know if we talked about music tech teacher yet, but music tech teacher, I love this website. This was another go-to for me. They have a lot of quizzes, they have a lot of lessons, they have a lot of stuff, and it's really a great resource. And you got a lot of different quizzes that you can use, and it really does work. It's great, and it has so many different topics that you can pull from. You've even got mariachi musical works or musical marks there, like how mariachi music is marked. You got lines and spaces. You've got everything. I mean, you got it all. So, and it's all web-based. Can't beat that. Nothing like a good web-based quiz. Screenshot your score, send it to me. Love it. So yeah, that's a great resource, and that's linked for you. We can go back to the slideshow. Again, I will say the Breezing Through Theory, the assessments are embedded, and there are summative assessments for people that like a paper pencil summative. There is a summative assessment available for, pretty much every chapter and every unit. And then Answer Garden. This one's really, really simple, and it's minimalistic. It works best on the app, but basically you type in a question and the students answer the question, and then you get like a word cloud or a Wordle from it. So it really does work. So using like Answer Garden is, and then you type in, and then it gives you like it gives you the word cloud or the Wordle there, and it just makes it really cool. And then you can see how many people have given that answer. So, but it's very simple. It's just about really kind of gathering that kind of quick data about, are we getting this? Do we understand? For example, I might type in, if I've just taught the concept of subito, what does subito mean? I want to make sure that everybody's getting it. And if I've got answers all over the place, obviously I didn't do a very good job of explaining subito and then demonstrating subito and then practicing subito, reading subito, talking about I just didn't cover all the bases, so I need to go back and do that again. But I really like Answer Garden because it is so simple, and I use it on my iPad. All right, slide. There's an app, Anki app, and that's, you don't have to, I just provided all of the links to where you can get the apps, right? But it's an app, and it's great for creating your own flashcards. So if you want to create your own content, which is always great because you know your kids better than anybody else, create your own content. There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. Now, Edpuzzle and PlayPosit are two where you can overlay narration over videos. And then, okay, so Edpuzzle, you take your video. So for example, I like the video, the TED Talk on grit, and you can go straight in there and find TED Talks. You can find, videos that are very common to your area of study, and then you can lay narration over the video. You can talk about it over the video, and so you can stop it, add your thoughts, talk to the kids about things that they've seen and all that, and that creates, again, very personalized content for your students. And then PlayPosit is a great way to kind of quiz students on their own stuff. So once you find a video, like go to K-12, yeah, you put that video in, or you find that video, and you can build in questions. So it's a great way to kind of see, are they interacting with this information? Do they understand? what are they watching the video? Are they really watching the video, or did they just click play and walk away? But if you're embedding those questions, it's like those training videos that we all have to watch every year, where you watch a little bit of the video and then there's a question that pops up. That's essentially what Play Posit will allow you to do. But again, it's personalized for your students.
Dr. Bell McCoy, can you upload your own videos into PlayPosit and put the questions in like that?
Yes, and they give you a specific format that you use, but yes, you can. I think it has to be some kind of way with YouTube, and you do it like with YouTube and all of that. This was what I discovered this year when I wanted to get them to I wanted to quiz them on the grit video, because that's a big, we've just been using that grit video this whole year. We started it with marching band and then we pulled it into the concert bands because they need grit right now because it's really hard. Schooling is hard. So this is going to be my Thanksgiving break project to see if I can get that grit video and put in the questions that I want to ask them, because we have a digital learning day coming up. So that was what we were going to do. So my answer is I think so, as long as it's in the correct format. I believe so.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And we can go back to the slide now. And Flippity has a whole bunch of opportunities for you to make your own games. So if you want to go to that. Now this one I have not used before, but it has a lot of different things. You can make Flippity flashcards. You've got quiz show. You've got board games. You've got all kinds of little like bingo. You've got other things going on here. You've got a typing test. A lot of different games. So you can create your own word search. You can create your own crossword puzzle. You can create different things as you need. But I liked this website because it just had a lot of different options for it, and we can find different ways. The tournament bracket is super cool. I'm still trying to figure out how I can use that in the classroom to encourage some friendly competition. So we'll see. And we can go back to the slideshow. All right, slide. All right, so using technology to help you with communication. If your school system is anything like mine, it's really important to communicate, to over communicate with parents. And so we use a lot of tech to help with that. Slide. So the biggest one we use is Smore. It's not free. You get a limited number to try it out, but it is a web-based newsletter builder. Why I enjoy Smore so much is because I am able to send that out and it can be translated into a number of languages. We have a really large Latino population at my school, and so we are working to make sure we keep the gaps closed. So for me, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I can get around enough, and I'm really trying to get better, but I'm not fluent. And so I want my parents to be able to read everything that comes from me. I want them to be able to see it, right? And read it in their language and feel like they are a part of the program. So everything that I send out through like any type of big communication. I send it out through Smore so that it can be translated, and it's not like a Google Translate translation. It's like a legit translation. And so it's a really good resource to try out and see if you like it. And a lot of school systems are going to this, where they get a license, and all the program leads get this, the principal gets it, community special engagement specialist gets it, all of that. We have moved away this year from Remind. I still love Remind. I still use it for like Honor Band, Jan Fest, all those types of things, all state. But I really enjoy the Band app because of our ability, and it's free. Our ability, it's called the Band app, but it's not just for band. It's for anybody that has a group, sports teams, schools, it doesn't matter. But I use it because I can upload a lot of, I can upload recipes, I can upload volunteer lists, I can upload a lot of videos and pictures and all of that. And the kids can upload pictures that they took from the event. And so it's really a great app. We've used it this year for marching band, and now we've started using it with all of our concert bands as well. It works really well. We have not tried out the money side of it. We still use Charms for that. But if anybody has, and you want to throw me a little shout about how effectively that money side is, I don't like to start. I don't like, when it deals with money, I don't like to be the part of the beta group. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that it works before we throw our money into it. But yeah, this is a great new tool that we've been using. It's not super new, but we've been using it for the past couple of years in a trial basis, and now this year we went full in and didn't use Remind for our marching band, so it's worked pretty well. And of course, Class Dojo is invaluable. It's great for, especially for elementary music, but honestly, high school can use it too. It's nothing wrong with it. Parents need to know, and parents need to understand that they are still a part of the educational team for their kid. As they get through secondary school, I think sometimes parents start to step back and start to, move away from being engaged with their kids' learning, but it's still really important. They're still part of the educational team. All right, next slide. And so this section, this is what I thought one day when I was deep, deep, deep in content production mode. And I was like, what am I? A music producer now? Like, what is happening? All of this happened in my office at my house that I had, turned into this basic music studio. I had mics and mixers and interfaces and blah, 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 all of this stuff just so that I could teach music from my house. It was insane. And so I was like, what am I? I have my headphones on. I'm talking into the mic. I'm playing into the mic. I got different mics for different things. I got, all of this stuff. What am I? A music producer? Slide. This is what I came up with. These are just some music production tools for teachers. These are things that you can use, your kids can use. Me and Audacity were like this because you can slow things down and not change the pitch, and it's so many good uses for Audacity. I started using it when I was in graduate school, and I'm still using it now. Sotophonic, I can't remember if I talked about that already, but no, you can record, edit, and share audio online. It's really simple. It's easy. You just do it straight from your web browser, right there on the internet. Then we've got Twisted Wave. This is great for kids because it's good for Chromebooks. It works really good with the Chromebook, and some things don't work well with the Chromebooks, but Twisted Wave does. And again, it's just online. You can just record and edit audio on your computer. And then Audio Cutter and Audio Joiner. We use this a lot when we're making like the senior tribute video, because we like to take different pieces that they've played and join them together, or cut them and join them. And sometimes I just need a snippet of something. So Audio Cutter and Audio Joiner are good apps for manipulating files or tracks you already have. So this is just some great tools, and you're linked up there for with all of those links, and it's pretty easy. All of that is pretty easy to navigate. Yeah. Okay. Good grief. Another. Uh-oh. What happened? Okay. Yeah. Good grief. Another asynchronous learning day. So this is where I just give you some tips on how to get through some of these asynchronous learning days and things that you can use. Slide. So capturing student, that is so weird. giving that to you. Yeah, capturing student learning using tech. So ThingLink there is a way, if you can, we all know about Flipgrid, Seesaw, and Wakelet, so we don't really have to get to those, but it's not Flipgrid anymore, it's Flip. But if you could click on ThingLink there for me. So you can create interactive visuals. So if you want kids to say label the timpani with the ranges, you can create that graphic and they can interact with that and manipulate it. And so that's a new tool. We tried it with the timpani thing. It worked pretty well. And so sometimes it's so much easier to create manipulatives that kids can like. It's concrete. So I could just put some circles up there, but we actually had like these timpani, and they could like tell us what they wrote on there what the wrote on there what the tuning notes were, like the ranges. So it's just it was a simple way to test out, can we use that. You can try it for free. I don't know how long we will be messing around with ThingLink, but it's another tool that you can try out. Of course, Flipgrid is always great. It's also known as Flip now, and it's still great, and it's still being used, and we use it a lot. Even when we're not on asynchronous learning days, we use it to capture student learning a lot, and we can give that type of feedback that we want. So they give us their playing test, and we can give them really good feedback about what they did. Sometimes I actually play back what I'm asking them to do. I'm like, yeah, did you hear when you did this? And I'll play something for them, or I'll play it on percussion or whatever. And it helps a lot. And then everybody knows about, Wakelet. It's just like a digital vision board. It's like building resources and all that. Is really useful. And Google Wakelet for Education is really easy to follow, and some people use it for different things, but we use it just to kind of compile memories and things, especially when we are trying to build our end of year, like this is what we did throughout the year. So we'll use it for a lot of that. We don't really use it a whole bunch now instructionally, now that we're in school together, but we did when we were virtual, because we were throwing lots of different things up on Wakelet and just using it as jumping off points for discussions about like music and how to evaluate and all those types of things. Okay, slide. Any questions about that section? If so, I'll tell you how to reach me soon. All right, slide. And then our last section is tech to aid in teacher organization and wellness. Again, these aren't necessarily music things, but these are just tech tools that can help you. Slide. Planning tools. Slide. So Planbook, it is a subscription service, but it is worth every penny. I love Planbook. It has the standards for music in it. Can you believe it? The GSE is in there, and I can just go click, 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 click. These are the standards I'm doing today, and I can put in the strategies that I'm using. I'm using like Marzano. I'm using this. I'm using that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm using Carnegie Notes or whatever. I'm not using Carnegie Notes, but whatever you're using, you can throw those strategies in there. You have your full out lesson plan that you are doing, and it is just so clear and easy to navigate. I love it. I'm the guinea pig at my school, so I'm using it this year to see if it works and how much teachers can benefit from thoughtful planning, because thoughtful planning is the root of effective teaching, and then effective teaching is the root of effective learning. So that is the goal. We use a lot of backward planning documents. I am a backward planner. Like, I like to plan with the end in mind. I just share with you some spreadsheets that we've used in the past. And oh, you don't have access to that. I can give you access. I'll make sure I change those settings so that you all can see those spreadsheets. Rehearsal plans with embedded weekly goals are in there. Same thing with the spreadsheets are great for those things. And so I'll make sure that the settings are changed on those so you can access those and make copies of them if you would like. Slide. Staying organized. This is a big deal for me. So I'm a type A all day, and so I like to stay organized. Slide. So digital planners are all the rage. There's one there if you want to click on that. This one's free. It is from Slidesmania. Love Slidesmania. And it is a digital planner. And so if you want to get on this digital planner wave, get on that ride, go for it. Try one for free first to see if you like it. You might not. And if you do, great. If you don't, you didn't spend any money. You were just trying it out. All right. We can go back to the slideshow now. And that link is live for everyone as well. Use your calendar. It doesn't matter if it's Google Calendar or Microsoft or the calendar that that came with your phone, your Android or your iPhone. What doesn't matter. Just use your calendar. Calendars help. Color coding really does help, and making sure that your color coding matches each other so that it's not like you've got a red and a bright red and a crazy orange, and make sure that it's I use a lot of muted colors, a lot of pastels, because they're easier on my eyes, and then I make sure that I choose colors that kind of go together so they're not so aggressive. And then time blocking. Use your calendar to block out time. Put your planning period on your calendar so that you know that this is my time for that. Okay, slide. Set boundaries and use tech to help with that. So recently listened to a podcast and I heard her talk about, it's Angela Watson. She's great. Truth for Teachers. It's a great podcast. Set up your vacation message to go out during your class meeting times so that people understand that you are focusing on your students at that time and you will return emails during this time period of the day. So they may be expecting an immediate response. So that way, if they get that message, they know that you're not checking emails during that time. If it's an emergency, you're probably going to need to call me on my phone, my school phone, my room phone, the phone in my room, or on my cell phone. But you're going to need to reach out to me because I'm focused on kids right now. Slide. Use timers for yourself. They are effective, especially when you want to use the class time wisely. So even if you're not using a timer for everyone, for the kids, you can always have a timer on your phone sitting in front of you telling you, okay, I'm giving myself 10 minutes for this piece, or I'm giving myself 10 minutes to explain this concept. And then we're going to have 5 minutes of interactive time with that concept, whatever. Use your timers. It will keep you on track. Using checklists to keep yourself organized is really important. I use checklists a lot for participation grades. So I have all of my kids in a spreadsheet, and each day they get a DPG, a daily performance grade. So did you have your things out? Did you have everything you needed? Did you have your instrument, your book, your music, your pencil, and were you on time? And did you participate for the entire class? If so, I check you off. And so I use that in a spreadsheet so I can A, have a paper trail, and B, at the end of the week, I can put in their DPG for the week. And it's so much easier than trying to keep it handwritten. And then goals for the day and tasks to be completed can be put in a checklist as well. I love Google Keep. It is great. I use it at home. I use it at work. You can share it with someone else so that you all can both see the keep and can assign tasks to each other. It's a great tool. But if you don't have that, Using a good checklist, nothing wrong with it. Slide. Wellness. Slide. These are wellness programs to check out. I'll just let you explore those. Some of them are for your students and you. Some of them are just for you. And so Insight Timer just has a lot of different things on it. I use it a lot in the classroom, just sometimes to have soundscapes playing when I am when we're transitioning or when we're getting ready. Sometimes just having the soundscapes, and sometimes those timers, the breathing, we would use those breathing exercise timers a lot during virtual learning because they had issues, they were having just a lot of trauma just from being at home and out of school. Aura is another great app that you can try out. It's just really for you as the teacher. It's okay to not be okay, but don't stay not okay. So it's important for us to pour into ourselves so that we don't run out of gas for our kids. Okay. Also, another good one is Headspace. Of course, we've all heard about Headspace. It became very popular during COVID times, but yeah, it's great. There's a lot of different things on there to help with meditation, sleep, stress management, mindfulness, gratitude, all of that kind of stuff. Rise is one that I've been using, trying it out for free to see how to manage my sleep. Sleep has been an issue for me my whole life. Type A, can't help it. So I've been trying this out to try to make sure that I am getting the type of sleep and the rest that I need to get through each day. And then finally, that goes in online. That's a great YouTube channel to use in your classroom. And we use that a lot. That Mindful Minute, man. Sometimes we would just stop class in the middle of virtual learning and just be like, okay, we just need a minute. This is too much. And then we would just turn that Mindful Minute on, regroup, and start again. But it has a lot of great resources there. Okay, slide. So, final thoughts. I don't know if I really have any. It was a lot of information, but slide. I think that you can go to the next slide. Yeah. So I think that essentially, with all of that stuff that I just threw at you, right? What I want you to remember is that no amount of tech can remedy poor teaching. So you're still the most important component of the classroom. Day in and day out, tech cannot replace a great teacher, and tech can't make a teacher that is struggling not struggling. Tech can help on that journey, but only we as humans can make those changes, right? Tech can't save us. Focus on what is most important, and that's the student's learning. If you do that and you use tech to enhance that teaching and learning process, it can be a great tool for you. So remember, you can't break it. Try new things. Your students will love that you are working so hard for them. I've gotten more. Thank you for working so hard for us over the past 3 years than I've gotten my whole career. I think the kids they watched me just kind of say, okay, well, I'm going all in on this music tech thing, and I'm going to figure out how to crack this code, and I'm going to figure out how to keep you from hating music during this really difficult time. And then it just kind of stuck, and they thank us for working hard for them, and they'll do the same for you. If they see you really trying new things and trying to be a better teacher and a more tuned in teacher to where they are as learners, I think that will mean a lot to them. They'll respect it. They may not tell you right away, but they'll eventually say it. Slide. So good luck to you on your tech journey. Slide. And if you want to reach out to me, feel free to contact me. And this is how you can really get in touch with me. I'm always checking my school email, which I probably shouldn't, but I always am. Belle McRoy Z at clark.k12.ga.us. You can reach me there, and I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you want to shoot me some resources that I don't know about, I would love it. I have to shout out, though, I became a part of the Midnight Music community when we began our virtual learning journey. And that is where I have pretty much learned everything. And she's in Australia, so the webinars are always at weird times. But it has been amazing for me to learn, to watch the webinars, to participate in the learning community. All of that is great. So if you get a chance to check out Midnight Music, it's great. It's really a lot of tools. She has everything there, everything, and you will learn a lot. So slide. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time. And again, any questions or thoughts that you have, please feel free to share them. And I wish you all of the best on your journey.